Morning, guys. Hope you are doing good, and thank you for joining us today. So, welcome to AWS UG Kochi monthly meetup of September 2021. I'm Pravish. I am a co-organizer in AWS UG Kochi, and I am an working as associate consultant in. Sorry for that. Okay. Uh, Today we have Sujith Sukumaran from IBS Software. He is an test architect in IBS Software, and he has done his AWS Solution Architect certification recently, and he is going to guide us how he how he cracked this examination, and he is going to give us some tips and tricks he used to achieve this. Okay, before starting, I have few things to inform you people. We have this AWS Community Day 2021 coming next month. This year also we are having it as a virtual event like last year due to this COVID situation. So last year we had AWS user groups in all over India combined together and had a single community day. And this year also we are having a single community day in India. Plus we have added user groups from Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh together. And it is AWS Community Day South Asia. So it is going to happen on October 22nd and 23rd. It will be a wonderful event. Please do register. The URL to register is communityday.awsug.asia. It is communityday.awsug.asia. Okay. To get notified about the events in AWS UG Kochi, please subscribe to our social media channels. We are in LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and we are with the name AWS UG Kochi in all the channels. We are in meetup.com also. Our meetup group is meetup.com/AWS UG Kochi. If you are interested to deliver a talk in AWS UG Kochi, please do reach us. Our email is info@awsugkochi.in, and our official website is awsugkochi.in. Okay. So today's agenda, yeah, it's already over. Okay. So we will have a session by Sujith for 50 minutes. After that, we can have a 5 or 10 minutes Q&A, where if time permits, we can have a 5 or 10 minutes Q&A. And please do post your comments, feedbacks in the YouTube channel itself. We will pick it from there and discuss. We will discuss at the end of the session. And I'm welcoming Sujith once more. Sujith, adding you to the screen. Yeah.
Thank you, Pravish. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, I'll share your screen.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Yeah. So thank you, AWS UG Kochi, for this opportunity, for giving me an opportunity to have a talk to this esteemed audience. I have been kind of part of this UG group for a long time and have been listening to a lot of talks. It has really helped me. So I hope this will help the right audience who have joined us today. So today we are going to speak about how we can, or what it takes for us to get certified as AWS Solution Architects. It is one of the kind of very highly respected and looked upon certifications in the whole IT industry. And ever since the pandemic has started, the cloud adoption has gone up in huge numbers, as well as the adoption of AWS, and the requirement for the highly skilled or certified or recognized professionals of who know the AWS game has also really gone up. So that's why, especially for the past 1 year or so, there has been a huge increase in the demand for people who have AWS certifications, especially on a higher level. People look for a lot of solution architects. So there has been a lot of interest around this, both in terms of learning, both in terms of upskilling, and also in the terms of certification. So it's in this context AWS has launched the AWS Solution Architect Challenge as well, which is currently happening, and it is going on till December 4th. So if you had ever been trying to crack this examination or get yourself certified or upskilled as AWS Solution Architects, probably this is the best time for you. So today we will speak about what is this solution architect certification all about, what it takes for us, what all things we should be ideally doing to get ourselves certified with this one, SAA-C02. So that is the certification code we have been having for almost since last 2020 June or so. This is the certification code C02. So let's go into more aspects of this. So just as a start, to give you a context, we have currently 11 certifications provided by AWS. They time to time they kind of review the scope of each of the certifications, and they make amendments and changes to each of those. So as of now, we have 11. It all starts from the foundational one, which is the cloud practitioner, and goes next. The next level is the associate level certifications. We have 3 certifications there: the solutions architect, the SysOps administrator, and the developer associate. Then followed by the 2 professional certifications, which is the solution architect professional, and the SysOps and the developer associate levels kind of converge together at the professional level to become a DevOps engineer professional certification. Additionally, we have some 5 specialty certifications on database, machine learning, security, data analytics, networking, etc. So this is the big picture of the certifications. Earlier, it used to have a kind of a hierarchical structure to it. Now it's not like that. You can go and take whatever certification you really wish to. If you're feeling comfortable, you can directly go for a professional level certification or a specialty certification. So it's quite possible now. There are many people who, when they start their journey, they go for a cloud practitioner certification to get a feel about what is this whole AWS world about, what is it offering, and how is the whole examination or certification process like. I have been one because I did the cloud practitioner certification initially to get myself a feel about what is AWS and how this whole certification process works. There are many people who directly go to associate level certification. So it's only it's up to us to take which route we need to take. What's the comfort level we are having with AWS? What's the experience we are having with AWS? All these kind of things come into factor when we decide which one we should go and take. So the difficulty level, maybe the cloud practitioner is EC1, relatively EC1, and maybe with few months preparation. They say like some 6 months is required, but even if you have some 2 or 3 months, maybe that should be really good for you to get into cloud practitioner. But all the other ones are kind of the difficulty levels are ranging from tough to hard levels. So that might require some good amount of experience of working with AWS stuff, trying to build solutions or trying to build infrastructure there. Some good amount of experience, learning and doing would be really necessary to do those higher level of certifications. So this is the big picture. So now from here, we'll go to what we tried or what we planned for the day, which is talking about the Solution Architect Associate. So what is AWS expecting from a candidate who is going to sit for a Solution Architect Associate exam, or who is going to be given a Solution Architect title? So AWS expects us to have some 1 year of hands-on experience of building and architecting solutions using AWS services, especially on these 4 areas, which is the compute, the networking, storage, management, and one more, which is the database. These are the core areas of services AWS offers. We have some 200 odd services being offered by AWS at this point of time, and it's still going to increase day by day. Every day, literally every day, AWS is building new services and features and stepping up their game. But at the base foundation, it's like the compute services, like the EC2, the Lambda, the container services, those kind of things, the networking part, the VPC, all those kind of things, different kind of storage like the S3 and all the other kind of things, and all the management aspect, security aspect, All these form the basic foundation of the whole AWS global infrastructure. So they expect a candidate to know all these things hands-on. So that's the basic expectation, or the bigger expectation here. And also we should be able to identify and define requirements, or if there is a real life use problem statement or a case study which is coming in, we should be able to join that discussion and give or define what could be the right solution, or understand the finer details about it, and then we should be able to decide which service should work for best, or what feature of a particular service would really fit in for meeting that requirement or meeting that problem statement. So that is also really expected. That kind of problem solving approach we should be having. And this certification is a kind of more broad in scope. We need to know a lot of services from the level of expertise, or the depth they expect from different services kind of vary, but a lot of services we need to go and understand in depth, so that we would be able to recommend the right solutions. Because even if you take the example of a database, there are multiple databases according to different requirements. So we should be able to suggest the right one, right? So accordingly, we should be able to pick from a whole lot of service list. We should be able to pick the right one according to a requirement. The best practices, knowing what are the right practices to do something, to build an infrastructure, maintain that. From the security aspect, from the compliance aspect, there are a lot of best practices to be kind of othered. So one should be, especially the solution architect is a kind of a high-level role in which we kind of lead teams who are working with AWS. So we should be the people who must be guiding the team with the right practices, best practices. The overall understanding of AWS global infrastructure is really expected. And as I told you, the security is very important aspect, especially in this post-pandemic era. A lot of security issues, a lot of security attacks kind of has increased manifold. So the scope for security in generally, especially within AWS, is going to increase. So that is also a very vital part of the expectation from the solution architect. A lot of people might be thinking, which certification, which associate level certification should I take first? So we are all coming from different backgrounds. We have different experiences on the tech stack, on the kind of other. Some people are kind of coming from more managerial kind of stuff. So which certification you should be really doing? Is the solution architect the right one for me? Is a question many people having. To answer that question, we should be understanding what all are the 3 associate levels and what is the difference it is going to have. So when it comes to solution architect, the expectation, as I already told you, it's all about designing and architecting applications. And also, since I told you the scope is also broad, we should also be knowing about the cost efficiency, the fault tolerance, all those kind of things also comes into picture when it comes to building architectures which are really scalable, which are really reliable. So it's a kind of more high level kind of a thing. Design and architecting is the core focus here in this one. So I would suggest, like, if you are a person with some 5 years or more into the industry experience, you are already doing a technical architect or a solution architect kind of a role, maybe this certification is the one which you should be really doing. But if you are kind of a relatively new into the game, you are still developing a lot of stuff, you are doing still things more hands-on, maybe developer certification is the right one for you. So it's all about the focus about developer is more about the developing part, and there is a slightly higher notch of hands-on expertise required when it comes to developer, maybe on the SDK part, all those kind of things you must be knowing a bit more in a hands-on way than the solution architect. So that's how the developer certification differ. SysOps, so talking about solution architect and developer, it's mostly kind of sharing a common kind of a path or a common kind of an area. You can say like some 80% of things are almost the same. maybe it's differing in that 20% on the specialization or the customization part, expectation from the particular titles. But when it comes to SysOps, it's completely kind of different, standout in terms within the associate space. So if you are doing a lot of DevOps kind of a things, you are into infrastructure as a code or configuration kind of a thing, or into the CI/CD part mostly, then maybe you should go and take the SysOps certification, or you plan to envision your career into a DevOps space in maybe 1 or 2 years down the line, then maybe SysOps is the one you should be choosing. It's all about deploying, managing, and operating workload. And SysOps also has a kind of a hands-on exercise also involved in that exam. It expects you to know the AWS CLI in detail than the solution architect and developer. So there will be hands-on as well into the SysOps examination. So that's how the 3 certifications at the associate level kind of place themselves. So I hope now you got an answer whether we should be doing solution architect or some other. I hope you got an answer. If you're feeling, yes, I should be doing solution architect, now we can go on. So what is Solution Architect Associate all about? It's a 65-question examination for 130 minutes. It's all multiple choice, and for some you'll be having multiple responses as well. So maybe you need to pick 2 right answers, 2 best answers, I should say, 2 best answers, because there could be, the options are kind of could be very, very kind of close or in similar. So you need to kind of figure out what is the best solution possible there. Multiple solutions, from the multiple possible solutions, you need to choose the best ones. So that's the same kind of principle the exam also expects from you. The questions would be kind of more at an application level. It could be some 4 or 5 line long questions, at least 50% of them. There could be some, it's quite possible, like there could be few easy questions as well. So it's not like all questions are really long questions. It's not like some are kind of pretty simple and straight. And if you're really lucky, maybe you'll get 1 or 2 or the 2 or 3 questions from the same area as well. So if I can tell you, I had questions, similar kind of questions coming on the service called the FSX. I had some 2 or 3 questions coming up around almost the same kind of scenario, almost the same service. So if you're lucky, you can get that as well. So generally speaking, it's a multiple choice, multiple response kind of format. And you can take it from a testing center, or you can take it from the comfort of your home as a proctored exam. It's costing you $150 USD, and it's valid for 3 years. The certification is valid for 3 years. But if you have a background of an earlier certification of AWS, say you took a developer or you took a cloud practitioner before, you can take this exam for half the cost, which would be 75 USD. And automatically your earlier certification also will be kind of getting extended to the new validity. So I can tell you, I took my cloud practitioner, which was going to expire in 2023. But when I took solution architect, my cloud practitioner also kind of, that validity also kind of extended to 1 additional year. So that's another advantage of taking multiple certifications. The passing score here is 720 out of 1,000. This is the domain. You can go to the AWS study guide, exam guide, and understand what all are the domains in which the exam is going to really test you, or what's the kind of expectations going to have you, what's the kind of skill set they're going to expect from you. So it's all about building resiliency, resilient architectures, high performance architectures, security, and cost optimization. So these are the 4 important areas. Of course, it covers a lot of services. When you just say this word resiliency, definitely not many services. Like similarly for cost optimization, each of those, a lot of services are being covered under each of these segments, and a lot of overlap is also possible. But these are the 4 areas in which exam is going to test you. And you should also be aware about the weightage. Like you should be putting more effort into understanding what is the resiliency principle, or when you're learning a service, think about whether it has something related to resiliency aspect. In that way, you should be able to have that frame of mind in which you're going to apply your knowledge about the services or the features to the actual problems. And as I told you, many services are kind of getting launched every day by AWS. If you look at weekly updates from AWS, which is coming from Jeff, you will easily understand like many changes are happening every week, every day. But you can be assured like only AWS puts something which has been kind of in general availability for at least for 6 months. Then only they will bring that kind of a topic or that service into the examination perspective. So if it's a very new service launched yesterday or last week, don't worry about that. In all probability, it may not come in the actual examination. So what are the recommended learning materials? What are the path just suggested to take? A lot of materials are kind of provided by AWS themselves. When you go into the AWS Learning Library, a lot of videos, a lot of great content are available there. It's giving as per the different expertise level, like foundational, intermediate, expert, those kind of differentiation is there. And the videos are of different lengths. Maybe it's some very introductory kind of videos, or maybe more advanced kind of a solutioning kind of thing is there. So a lot of good content is out there on the AWS Learning Library. Start with that. And also now AWS is putting a lot of good content on this streaming site called twitch.tv. So if you can go to AWS channel in Twitch, there are also a lot of great discussions, great learning materials are available. So that's a great place to get yourself started. In addition to that, we have some great tutors who have put their courses on different platforms. I would say Udemy because I followed some of them. So their courses are really good, and they have been in this space for a long time now. And their courses are being widely followed, and a lot of people who learn AWS get started with these kind of courses. And those courses are highly recommended because these many people were able to successfully do their exams with these courses. Let it be Stefan's course or Neil's course. Those are all highly recommended by the people who are in this AWS fraternity. And they have practice mock exams as well. So I would suggest if you can go and buy one of these courses, maybe that also should be really helping you in this certification journey. Then there is another guy called John Bonso. He runs a site called Tutorials Dojo. His primary focus is all about the mock examination. So he provides quality mock examinations which are on par with the actual exam in his through Udemy, through his website, everything. So that should be kind of suggested, recommended way to do mock examinations, which are really on the same standard of the AWS examinations. That should really put you in that groove of actual examination. And one other guy called Adrian Cantrell. He has a longer course. His course is some 40 hours long course, but it goes into so much depth. Even after the certification, you'll really find it really helpful if you want to go and brush up something, or if you want to review some areas of your knowledge. Maybe that should really help you. But it will take some time for you to complete that course. All the other courses are somewhat 25 hours long. The examination course and the solution architect course. But when it comes to Adrian, it's a longer one at 40 hours, but goes into depth for almost everything in the solution architect syllabus. So these are some of the highly recommended or highly popular courses which I can suggest you for your preparation for the solution architect. And just buying course would not kind of suffice. You need to have a kind of a plan and start the actual study. So before you start this, these are some of the ideas which work for me. So I thought I would share this with you. Maybe you can try applying them, or maybe in this process you will also find some things which is really working for you, which is not here. It's quite possible as well. So I would say go discover your own process into completing this. So I started with reading the exam guide. In fact, I used to read it sometime in between. Like once I complete a round of study, I used to go and check whether I'm on the right path, whether I'm continuing the right journey, whether I'm focusing on the right areas. So reading the exam guide really helps you there. Or you might be discovering I did not put right focus on this particular thing, which is mentioned in the exam guide, and that's why I'm not able to recollect, or I'm not able to say what is this particular service or what is this solution all about. So in that case, go and read the exam guide and also the sample questions. So sample questions, you will get some 20 sample questions in AWS site. So that will kind of give you a perspective about how is the actual examination questions being framed, what is the kind of approach being taken in the question framing, what is the length of questions, what time typically you take for answering a question. So those kind of things you'll get an easy understanding when you go into the sample questions. And focus on the services and features mentioned in the exam guide. So exam guide gives you a clear picture about what all are the services and features expected for this particular examination or any AWS exam. And they also tell you what not to expect or what is not scoped in for this examination. So that understanding really helps you when you are studying, because unnecessarily you might be kind of going into the wrong areas, or you must be spending a lot of time in a service which is not really going to test you, or not going to that much depth in the actual examination. So put your focus on the right services and the features. So these are all long courses. And some people, if you're following on social media for some of these certification pages, some people say like, I studied in 1 month and I completed the certification. So you might be feeling, no, I started studying 2 months back and still I'm not able to make much progress. So it's quite possible. So don't make that comparison. People take different timeline to complete a certification. Some say like 1 month, some say 6 months, 7 months. So it's quite possible. It all depends upon what background you are having, what's the kind of AWS experience you are having. All those kind of things come into factor about the timeline. So be realistic about your own timeline, what you're going to take. So once you have that time frame in mind, make a plan and then start studying. But otherwise, the problem is like you will keep on studying, or it becoming an infinite kind of a journey. You won't be able to complete it in 1 year or something like that. So it's quite possible as well. A lot of other things, personal things, work-related things could come up in between, and you might get easily distracted. So make a plan. That's really important. And one strategy which really worked for me is like I learned from multiple tutors. I did Stefan's course, I did Neil's course, and in between I looked at some additional videos in YouTube, especially on areas like networking, system design, many things. So all these kind of things kind of complemented each other, and this really helped me. So even you say like Stefan's course is highly rated, Neil's course is highly rated. There are some areas which the other person explains in a much, much better way. Like Stefan explains something in a really good way, but Neil explains something else in much better way. So that kind of a difference is there. And you get some finer details. When you listen to multiple tutors or multiple courses, you get some finer details, which is not there in the other one. So those kind of things give you, help you stitch all these dots together and get the full bigger picture. So that strategy has really worked for me. And importantly, as the scope of this exam is very huge, which is broader in scope, if you can make notes of what you're learning, it will be really helpful. Because after a point of time, I did not used to make notes when I used to study anything. But when it came to AWS, I felt like there are a lot of things, and I'm missing out on many areas because I'm not able to recollect or remember a few things. Some things have not really kind of registered in me. So that's when I decided I should make notes or prepare notes as I learn. So that really helped me. Or I started to build my own cheat sheet when I started, or as I progressed through this learning phase. If you can do some visual learning techniques like preparing a mind map, say serverless, this is my mind map. So you can easily kind of put what all are the serverless services or what are the serverless features into that visual kind of structuring of your note. That will really help you remember a lot of things, because remembering these finer details is really important for this examination, because only then you will be able to at least when you say like you have some 5 options, you have not heard about some services at all, you have but if you have this kind of technique, note preparation, something like that, at least you will be able to say like this particular service was something related to this. So it's not, it's kind of, we can eliminate that option. So at least the elimination becomes easy if you can do that. So I'm sure like definitely having some notes will really help you. And importantly, do your hands-on. That's a really, really important part here, especially on these major services like EC2, auto scaling, elastic load balancing, and S3, SQS. All these kind of things are core services. Lambda, make a VPC on your own. Look at what all are the subnet configuration. What is the security group configuration? How the route table would look like. How it is done when it is a default VPC, when it's a custom VPC. So only by hands-on doing this, you'll be able to remember all these finer details. Only then you'll be able to apply it in the actual examination. So definitely do a lot of hands-on exercise as you learn a service. It's really important, and make sure you have a free tier account for that. And at least for some advanced services, if you are not able to do complete hands-on, make sure at least do a console walkthrough of what all are the features available, what all are the options available there, what all are the configurable aspects of that service. So make sure you do that, at least a console walkthrough. When you're doing all these kind of activities, definitely put a budget and be mindful of what is your AWS bill like. Always put a budget. That should be the first thing you should be doing, because otherwise we will end up in a huge lot of bills. Don't do that. In my case, I did not have the confidence to do practice exams or mock exams without having enough time spent on the studies part. So I did not have that confidence, but a lot of people think in the other way. They start the practice exam as and when they learn or they're into the learning 1 or 2 weeks. So that's a different approach. That did not really work for me. So I came to the practice exams only after multiple rounds of study, some 2 or 3 rounds of study, then only came to the practice exams. And believe me, even if you do multiple courses, you will definitely start seeing new aspects in the practice exam. So that is going to be another stage of your learning. You will see new questions, new areas, new finer things you did not even hear about earlier. So that's quite possible. So continue your journey as and when you do the practice exam as well. And once you do every exam, go and spend time in reading the explanations, even for the right answers. So there are some new detailing, some new stuff you're going to learn when you do the practice exam part. So continue that as part of your learning. And there are some good study communities, like in Facebook, there is a AWS certification QA run by Neil Davis. So he himself sometimes come and answer some questions. So if you can go there, especially on when you're doing some mock examinations, practice examinations, there is a high probability, like in some questions, some answers, you might kind of feel like this is the right one, or I thought that was the other one was the right one. So can someone help me with this? Or can can someone help me understand this one in a much better way? So you can post those kind of questions in that channel. Similarly, you have something called the AWS Certified Global Community in LinkedIn. A lot of certified people are already part of that group in LinkedIn. So you can post your questions there as well. So these communities really help you. If you can read through the FAQ section, that's also very important. And a lot of practice exam, mock exam questions automatically in their explanations will take you to the FAQ section as well. So definitely go through that. It's very long, but at least for the major services, go read that in complete way. That will really help you in the examination. And another aspect I did not really mention here is the white paper thing. Especially on the AWS well-architected framework. Definitely go and read that white paper. Some of the other papers are kind of archived, so don't read that. It's not really going to come in the examination scope, but definitely read the AWS well-architected framework. But if you're going to follow any of these courses which I already mentioned, it's almost there. The essence of those white papers are already there in that course. So that's also another advantage of doing that courses. And there are a lot of cheat sheets you can follow, like Tutorials Dojo by John Bonsall, and Neil Davis has this site called Digital Cloud Training, and Stefan also has another site, I don't remember now. So I think the Data Cumulus is a site. So all these kind of sites have a lot of cheat sheets you can follow, especially just few days before the examination. Once you feel like you are done with all these learning, all those mock examination, maybe you can go and start reading the cheat sheets as well. So what I would advise is or generally kind of recommended is, if you're scoring some 80% consistently, or at least most of the times in your practice examination, mock examinations, consider you are exam ready. You can go and really attempt the examination. But if you are scoring less than that, make sure which is the area in which you're lacking, then try to improve there. Go through those course areas again. Maybe that should really help you. And AWS has this really good AWS certification readiness webinar run every month, almost every month, multiple times at least. So that kind of gives you an assurance about what is the scope for the examination, in addition to the study guide, what all features are going to be kind of coming in this particular examination. You can be very assured, only those things mentioned there would really come in the examination. So that would be the really scoped in items for the exam. So definitely go through, sit for this webinars. I would say if you can, in between your study, if you can go there, that also would really help you. And maybe definitely before the examination, try and attend one. And I'm not sure whether the actual certification centers are open now. I'm not sure. I did the cloud practitioner one from one of the Pearson VUE centers in Kochi. But when it came to solution architect, I did the online proctored exam. So there are two vendors who are providing this examination. One is Pearson VUE, and the other one is don't remember that now. But don't go for the other one, because there are a lot of complaints, a lot of concerns about the other one. So I would say Pearson VUE is kind of more far stable. And I had a couple of issues when I was running the examination in terms of the video stability and all. So they reached out to me via phone or via chat as well initially. Then they asked me to come to the phone. So that was kind of really helpful. So I would suggest that. You get a chance to reschedule your examination if you do that 24 hours prior to your actual date. And when you're going to do the exam, take it from your personal laptop, because some of the other, your office laptop may not really allow you install Pearson VUE software, and some things may not be possible. So do it from your personal laptop. Make sure you have a good speed internet. And of course, the Pearson VUE ask you to do a system test and an internet test before the actual examination. Do that. Make sure you are using the same system and same internet source in the actual examination. And this proctored exam is slightly kind of a very formal kind of a thing, and they ask you a disciplined approach for this. Make sure you don't have anybody sitting in your room. They won't allow that. They ask you to click pictures of your room, and you should upload that to your URL, which they will share you right before the examination. You should do that. So they'll make sure your desk is clean, your room is clean, know the materials are there, know the people are there, and they strictly won't allow any murmuring, any kind of facial expressions. If there is happening multiple times, they will definitely warn you. So make sure you are in that kind of frame of mind. Presence of mind is really important when you're doing this. Especially, you might kind of feel like this examination is slightly tougher than what I kind of used to in the practice examination. It's quite possible, but don't lose your composition. Don't lose your presence of mind. That will really help you, because most often than not, in the first 15 or 30 minutes you must be feeling slightly uncomfortable or kind of tensed, but believe me, in 30 minutes or so you'll be really cool and you'll be able to tackle or handle the exam questions in a much better way. So don't lose your composure. And importantly, as this exam doesn't have any kind of negative marking, attempt all the questions. That's really important. Attempt all the questions. Don't spend time on questions you really don't know. At your first reading, if you feel like it's kind of complicated, you might need some time. Leave that and come to the next one. Complete the easy ones first, then come back to earlier ones. You always have that option to review questions or mark or flag questions which you feel doubtful. Come back and review each and every questions which you left out or if you feel confused. And then even if you have still time, go back to questions which you feel like you are okay or you're right. So that is also a strategy, important strategy in kind of making sure you clear the examination, or as well you get a good score. If you have still more questions about how is the certification process, there is a link I'm given. Go through that, and that kind of details everything you should be knowing before taking the examination. So as I told you in the beginning, now it's the best time to take this AWS Solution Architect Challenge. It's ongoing till December 4th. A lot of materials are available, and there's a discount as well. So definitely, if you haven't still kind of enrolled, definitely go there. You have some 4 months time that should really help you in clearing that examination. Go and start your studies. If you have questions, I'm really open. Pravish?
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sujith.
I was just thinking whether I was audible.
Okay, it was a nice one. We didn't get any comments as such. Yeah. So thank you for sharing all these things. I got a little with items like I got something new today. I had an experience with Pearson last month. I wrote my security specialty certification last month, and I wrote it from my home. And I had a when I got a question, and then I was just thinking and looking up, and the examination the proctor had sent me a chat, said you are not looking into the system, and we will cancel if you look out of system next time.
No, like I used to kind of think like, what is this like? I used to kind of murmur something just as part of my thinking process, but it happened at least 2 times. Then they warned me, like, if you start speaking again, then definitely exam will be getting stopped. So it definitely happens. Then you need to sit like you are in some lower standard classes.
Yeah. Okay, we got a question. I'll just pull that thing.
Yeah, sure.
So this is from Vinod Kumar. For SAA exam, do we get questions around DynamoDB provisioned capacity units and all?
No, actually, you don't really worry about the actual numbers and all. So they don't really expect you to remember all those kind of numbers and all. It's not really needed. But basically, the concept of WCU and RCU would really help you. And that knowledge is really needed. But don't go into those kind of remembering part. That's not needed.
All right.
But
And
DynamoDB is definitely an important part of the exam.
yeah.
The provisioning part, now they have serverless part and the provisioning part, all those kind of things would be in scope for the exam.
And there is one more from Dibin. Okay, you mentioned about FSX coming in your exam. Have you
Yeah.
done that recently? Could you tell what is the service is about?
FSX has actually two capabilities. One is kind of equivalent to the EFS when you do in Windows. So it's equivalent of what is EFS in Windows, FSX. So we have FSX Windows Server. And in addition to that, we have something for FSX high performance computing. There is another service. So there are two variants of FSX. One is for high performance computing, and for one is for Windows file storage, common storage.
All right. Okay. And yeah, one more is there from Vignesh. Okay. Yeah, it was a great session. Thank you, Vignesh. Okay. Could you please talk more about the accommodations that are available during the examination?
Accommodation.
Okay.
I did not understand that one.
Okay. I think Vignesh was mentioning about the extra hours for non-language people, like non-native English people there.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah, yes. So there is a kind of extra time you'll be getting, but I'm not really sure about what is that extra time. Actually, I need to maybe go back and check that. But definitely, as Vignesh pointed out, there is an extra time for a non-native speaker. But
yeah,
I'm not really sure what we need to kind of give in to validate that.
yeah. Sibi have been just commented it. Yeah, you can get 1 hour extra. Yeah, thank you, Sibi.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
you get 1 hour. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing this, and we will be back with another meetup. Till that time,
Yeah.
goodbye, and thank you for joining us today. Yeah,
Thank you all. Thank you all.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.